What's going on guys, it's Unknown Player here, and in this video we'll be taking a trip down memory lane and looking at the year 1 weapons we're getting in the April update. It was a long time since these weapons were actually relevant. I'm sure some of you have forgotten how they work and what they do and compared to the weapons we have nowadays, and some of you probably weren't even playing Destiny at all when they were around. So I want to kind of take a closer look at them and compare it to the weapons we have today, see what's good, what's not, so you know what to look for when they arrive, because some of them are seriously good. So firstly, before we look at the weapons, a lot of people want to know how you actually get them. There's a lot of confusion. The answer is Vanguard and Crucible packages only. Nowhere else, not from engrams, not from buying them from a vendor. They're only available in the Vanguard and Crucible packages, so when you rank up those two vendors, and you can't just infuse any year 1 weapon you have. It's only the 12 weapons that I'm going to mention in this video, and once you rank up either the Crucible or the Vanguard, you'll get a package, and they'll also be a lot quicker, by the way, in the April update. They've boosted how quickly you receive them, so once you get one of those, you'll have a chance of getting one of these weapons. So there are 2 of most of the weapon types. There are 2 hand cannons, 2 scout rifles, 2 auto rifles and shotguns, snipers, and also machine guns. Of the 2 of each type, one of them is going to be a Crucible variant that used to be able to be gotten from the Crucible Quartermaster, and the other one is a Vanguard weapon that used to be gotten from the Vanguard Quartermaster. Now, of course, in the April update, one will be gotten from Crucible packages and one will be gotten from the Vanguard packages, 6 from each. So firstly, the hand cannons. The Vanguard variant that you'll get from Vanguard packages is the Devil You Know. This was pretty much a PvE hand cannon that was very good in PvE, and probably most people's first ever hand cannons they got used to. The original one had Zen Moment and crowd control, meaning basically the longer you fire at these enemies, the more accurate and the more damage your weapon is going to do. So it was a very well handling, very well looking hand cannon. The Crucible hand cannon was called the Lord High Fixer, and this is nearly identical to the Devil You Know in terms of stats, but the perks you get in it were pretty much made for Crucible. Now into the auto rifles, we've got the Shadow Price, definitely a very classic one, and this is one that I still have around right now in my vault. I still have this thing, and it's basically a medium damage and medium rate of fire weapon, really consistent. This is probably most people's first ever auto rifle. It's just one of those weapons you can pick up. Doesn't matter what game you play or how good you are at the game, you can pick this thing up and you can easily know how to use this thing. Very accurate and very easy to handle. Mine was nothing even that special. It had persistence and spray and play, so it wasn't even that decent in terms of perks, but it was just a very nice to use weapon. It might not be that good in the April update. We don't know how the auto rifles are going to be buffed, but we'll have to see whether it's actually decent. The Crucible auto rifle was the Grim Citizen, and this thing is pretty much identical to the Shadow Price, but had Crucible slight variations in its perks. It was more kind of attuned for a Crucible playstyle. Now into the scout rifles, we've got the Badger CCL as the Vanguard one. This was a really high impact and really low rate of fire weapon, about a 3 to 4 shot kill in the Crucible, and in PvE it would pretty much one shot most of the adds. So if you know how the Jade Rabbit feels, that really slow rate of fire, this is nearly identical to that. Now the Crucible weapon, which isn't really a Crucible weapon at all, is the Saturnine Rapier, and this thing was absolutely amazing. This is pretty much a Vanguard PvE weapon because it was the Scout Rifle version of a Fatebringer. It had Outlaw and Firefly, so you could pretty much use this as a Scout Rifle version of it, and at a slow rate of fire, so pretty much the same as the Dis 43, if you know what that feels like right now. And so this thing was amazing, but I don't think you're able to get Outlaw and Firefly on this thing in year 2. We'll have to see, but in year 1 it was really amazing with that combination of Outlaw and Firefly. Now into the snipers, this is where it gets good. These are both amazing weapons and expect to see them around a lot. We've got the LDR 5001. This is the same rate of fire and impact as the 1000-yard stare. It handles really well, just an amazing feeling weapon. The recoil, how it kicks and how you pull the thing out, it's just a really nice low sitting sniper that just feels good to shoot and is definitely going to be a fan favorite. And the other one, the Crucible weapon, is the Longbow Synthesis. This is the same again with the same impact and fire rate as the 1000-yard stare, but this thing has 1 more bullet in the magazine, which is actually really high. It's got 5, when just about every other sniper has 4, so this actually is quite a step ahead. However, it's quite bulky and it doesn't handle as well, so that is the trade-off. But these 3 snipers will now be the best snipers in Crucible, I can guarantee it, and they're nearly identical in terms of impact and rate of fire. It's just down to personal preference. The longbow will be a lot more popular, I think, because it's got that extra bullet, but these are some very impressive weapons, and I'm really happy to be able to see the variety, and now we won't just have 1 pretty much good sniper in the Crucible, there'll be 3 to choose from. Now into the shotguns, we've got the Comedian. This was a decent shotgun. This is the Vanguard one, so it had medium rate of fire and a medium impact, which is kind of decent. And then also the Crucible version was the 2 to the Morgue. This was the Crucible version, so it had more impact to account for that and had a slower fire rate. So close to the Fellwinters, but it doesn't have the quiet impact of the Fellwinters does. So it probably won't be that great, to be honest. But we'll have to see how Bungie tune these shotguns, if they do it in PvE or PvP. Now finally, we'll take a look at the machine guns. We've got the Swarm. This was a personal favourite of mine. I love the thing in Crucible and against Praetorians in the Vault of Glass raid, because it did void damage, it would just chew away at those. I still have mine right now, you can see right here, and I had Field Scout. This used to make the magazine up to like 60 or something ridiculous. It was really high, and then they since nerfed Field Scout, so it wasn't as good. These used to be amazing, just a really nice, accurate weapon. And then on the other hand, we've got the Crucible machine gun. This is the Zombie Apocalypse. This thing has a bigger magazine, a lot more rate of fire, less impact, so it's more of a spraying weapon that's a lot more inaccurate. So it's kind of like which one you prefer. So those are all the weapons. Comment down below which one you're most excited for. I personally cannot wait for the LDR and longbow snipers, the Shadow Price, and also the Swarm. I definitely cannot wait to go as weapons. I'm definitely going to be grinding for those myself. There are some in here that will be amazing, like the snipers, no doubt, but also be some I'm sure won't be that great and probably are just best to leave with nostalgia. But we'll have to see what is good and what isn't. I'm sure some of them will also require to have the right set of perks, and you can't just pick any of them up and they'll be immediately good. You need to get lucky and get the right set of perks for them to actually be up to scratch. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Drop a like rating if you did, subscribe for more videos on this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.